Hello, Catamounts. My name is Alex Hoffman, and this is Chats with Cats, presented by WeTV. In this series, I will be interviewing some of our amazing athletes here at WCU. Today's guest is Lindsey Mendoza of our cheer team. How are you, Lindsey?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing well. So we'll jump right into this. Please introduce yourself and tell me who you are and what you do on the team.
Okay, my name is Lindsey Mendoza, and I'm a flyer on the WCU cheer team.
Perfect. Tell me a little bit about what brought you to cheer at WCU.
Cheering at WCU honestly is like a bonus to being here. I didn't know that I was going to be able to live out that like lifelong dream of being able to cheer in college. I came to WCU because my brother came here, and then whenever I found out about the cheerleading program, I knew that it was something that I like wanted to be a part of, like 100%. And so being able to be on the team now and live out that whole dream is just, I'm just so glad that I did it.
That's super cool to not know before and then get to do it
Yeah.
anyways. What or who would you say motivates you to cheer?
My biggest motivation in cheerleading is 100% my mom. Sometimes I'll be having a bad day or just like a really bad practice, and I like to imagine that my mom is sitting up at the front of the mat, and that just gives me the motivation to just keep doing better and push through the practice, and it just gives me all the motivation that I need, just because I know that she'd be sitting there and she'd be proud of what she's seeing.
Yeah, a lot of people have told me that their motivation is their family, and I think that really plays into my next question, which is about how there's a lot of family feel in our athletics at Western and at Western in general, but I've noticed it especially within athletics teams, and so I kind of wanted to get your take on that with cheer.
I would say that cheerleading honestly is a sisterhood in itself. We're all super close. We do so much with each other inside of practice and outside of practice. We hang out with each other. We eat lunch together. Some of us have classes together. Some of us live together. So I feel like we all spend so much time with each other that we kind of know the ins and the outs of each other, and it just plays into being able to be really good teammates, and we all know how to work with each other.
Yeah, I think having that outside of cheering knowledge of each other and all that is really helpful for being able to actually effectively work together.
Yeah, it is.
What kind of impact would you say that your coach and coaching staff have on you?
My head coach, Lauren Brooks, honestly, I would say is probably the best coach I've had ever in my whole entire cheerleading career. I'm really glad that she has given me the place to be able to have and grow a really strong bond with her. I think it's kind of funny because I'll text her like way too much. Sometimes I'll blow her phone up, and it's always something like really just not even relevant to cheer, but she makes me feel really like supported, and that makes me feel really good because I know that she's backing me up no matter what it is, whether it's related to cheer, whether it's related to class or work. I know that I can go to her and confide in her and know that she's going to be standing by my side no matter what.
Yeah, being able to talk to someone not only about cheer but also about life in general is something that I think is really good for a coach. So I did kind of want to change gears a little bit and go to the other part of this interview, which is more than just you as a student athlete, also you as a student and a person beyond that. So if you don't mind, go ahead and tell us your major.
My major is psychology.
Do you have any specific plans at the moment with that?
Yes, and they don't really tie in together, but I actually want to go to dental school. And every single time I tell people, like, I'm majoring in psychology, but I want to go to dental school, they're always like, that has nothing to do with it. But I chose psychology because I want to specialize in kids, and I feel like having that psychology aspect of dentistry would help with children.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. At first, I kind of had the same, like, that's a switch, but yeah, that makes sense. What is your best memory at WCU so far? It can be something cheer-related. It can be something entirely not.
My favorite memory at WCU 100% is cheer-related, but it would have to be my very first football game, and that is just a memory that's going to stick with me forever. I remember like all the practices leading up to the very first football game, and the coaches being like, you got to work for this, it's going to be such a good memory, you're not going to ever forget it. And I never really believed it until I was on that field, and it was just such an adrenaline rush being able to run out onto the field and seeing that big sea of purple, and then the band just like playing behind of us and having all of the crowd just cheer for us. and then being able to cheer on the Cats is honestly just the best memory ever.
I think that's the amount of detail really shows how long that's going to stick with you, which I think is really cool. My last question isn't necessarily athletics, it's not necessarily academics, but kind of a fun question. So who is your go-to artist to listen to before cheering to get ready and in the right headspace?
My go-to artist before games is 100% Bad Bunny, which a lot of people don't really know who that is, but he's a Latin artist and I love him. He just really gets me going and gets me in the perfect headspace. Sometimes if I'm having like a bad day, if I'll wake up like on the wrong side of the bed or like I'm just feeling a little extra tired that day, I'll get some Jesus music going and then that'll get me like set for game day.
Honestly, whatever you need to get the energy, because even if we aren't winning at that moment, you guys are still full energy, and it's like definitely something interesting with that. But that is it for today's episode of Chats with Cats with Lindsey Mendoza. Thank you, Lindsey, for being in the studio.
Thank you.
Of course. So we'll see you next time, and go Cats.